I go into now, I feel good, I'm hydrated. I'm always hungry at that point, but I'm not like starving. Like, my first few shows I did in NPC, literally, I felt like I don't know if I'm going to make it across stage. So,
you felt like you was gonna fall out.
I feel like I have a much healthier approach. My body's in its peak condition, both physically how it looks and physically how I feel. So I feel like it's a more holistic approach to it, and so I just think it's better for me, especially at my age. I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like, I know that when I competed in NPC in the early days, it would take me a long time to recover from those shows. I was so depleted. I felt like I didn't have any strength. It took me a couple of weeks to get back in, anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks to get back into my normal routine. Now, if I compete on a Saturday, by Monday, I'm itching to get back in the gym. I usually take a full week off, no cardio, no nothing. And then I just rest. I kind of eat whatever I want. And then after a week, I'm right back to it, going after my next goal, whatever that is. So I think I just have a better approach. I have a better coach. I'm just much healthier. And for me, it's about health. I mean, once you're a senior citizen, I just don't think you can stress your body too much. Recovery is different for me than it would be for a 20 or a 30-year-old. So,
but you're not a senior citizen yet, right? You like,
yeah,
that's 65.
I'm 63. I mean,
well, you got
it depends.
Yeah, we got 2 more years.
Hey, if a restaurant wants to give me a senior citizen's discount, I'm all for that. So.
I mean, you don't look too bad, in your age. I mean, look. Thanks, like, yeah. I would say like you're in your mid-50s, if that's good enough.
I appreciate that. That's very nice of you.
Yeah.
Until you do a close-up and see the wrinkles, yeah.
That's okay. I mean, it's not a big deal. I notice, like people like in their 30s, especially women, before, like years ago, they wouldn't want to tell their age. Like if it was like a big deal, but it's not a big deal. Like, especially when you get older, there's women that probably tell their age, like in their 70s, 80s and stuff like that.
I was always fine to tell my age. So, and, I've lived a lot of life. I've had, I have 4 kids. I have 6 grandkids. So, I'm good with that.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. You told me early back then, you Corey Everson was like your inspiration.
Yep.
Yeah.
So. Go ahead.
No, it's funny because when I first discovered female bodybuilding, bodybuilding in general, but I've seen her. She was like, I had an interest like in 1992, and she was in the cover of Flex, and I think she did Muscle and Fitness.
Muscle and Fitness. A lot of bodybuilding magazines. I remember, I can't remember, I don't have the magazine anymore. I don't know what happened to it. But I remember I picked up the bodybuilding magazine that she was on. It was 1980. I was 17 years old. And I wasn't a member of a gym. I was an athlete in high school. And so I knew there was a gym kind of close to my neighborhood. But somebody said, well, that's a guy's gym. And I'm like, well, where do girls go to work out? Remember, this is 1980. Very different. And so I walked into the gym and I just told the guys at the front desk, and these were just, total gym bros, right? And I said, I want to work out. And they were like, we don't take chicks.
Oh yeah.
And I said, look, I'm trying to get into bodybuilding. This is the only gym I know. And they told me, oh, go do jazzercise. Remember jazzercise?
I think so.
Yeah. And I'm like, nope, I want to do bodybuilding. And they were like, we don't take chicks. And so I'm like, okay, who owns this place? And so they brought the owner out. He was a big old bodybuilder. And I told him what I wanted. I showed him the cover of the magazine. I said, look, she even put a workout in here. I'm going to do this workout. And so he said, okay, here's the deal. You can't use the locker room. We don't have girls' bathrooms. You can't use the bathroom. He said, but you can use my bathroom because I got a private bathroom. You just let me know. I said, I don't want to hear you complain if the guys like, cuss too much, or if they say crude jokes. I don't want any complaints from you. And I'm like, look, I have 3 older brothers. These guys don't bother me. I'm used to this stuff. You'll never hear a peep out of me. Just give me a gym membership. And he gave it to me for free. And he's like, I don't think you're going to last, so I'm not going to make you pay. You just come in, you do your workouts, you mind your business. I'll tell all the guys to mind their business. I was like, deal. So I worked out there. I graduated high school. That was about 18 months later, I graduated. That was the summer of 1980. I graduated from high school the following year. And then, August of 1981, September of 1981, then I went off to college because my dad said I had to go to college because I had a scholarship. He's like, you're not going to LA. You're not going to be a bodybuilder. You got to go to college. You have to have a real job because I'm not supporting you. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to college. Funny, in college, I actually continued to work out. And so, but I never went back to that gym. And eventually, it closed down, and I always wanted to tell that guy, thanks for letting me do that. For almost 2 years, I worked out for free, and I never gave him a problem. I never complained. I was with a bunch of sweaty, stinky guys. The gym, it was in Houston, Texas, and it had no air conditioning. It was like a garage gym. It was truly a bodybuilding gym. And so, but that's where my love came from. And I learned a lot. I had a lot of those guys, help me on my form and everything that I was doing. And I learned a lot. One of the things nobody could really help me with was nutrition. I tried to eat like the guys, but, back in the day, they were eating chicken and rice, some broccoli.
Yeah, that's the bodybuild, the gourmet.
Yeah.
Chicken and rice every day.
Yep. Chicken and rice. And so it was interesting. Had I had to do it all over again, I don't know that I'd go to college. I think I'd just save up a bunch of money, go to, the West Coast like I wanted to, and start my career then. But, everything happens for a reason. If I would have done that, I probably wouldn't have 4 kids and 6 grandkids, right?
You're right. How do you look at it now? Like, the people can go, men and women can go to the gym. I heard, I heard that they have like a women's only gym. That's really interesting.
Oh, that's interesting. I haven't been to a women's only gym. I belong to a couple of gyms, because it fits my lifestyle. I travel for my business, so I'm always traveling. So I decided to join Planet Fitness because there's a Planet Fitness like in every city. And so I always have one. And then I belong to a very small gym. And they know I'm a competitive bodybuilder. The owner of the gym there says, when the youngsters come in and they're like hogging equipment, I always have to kick them off. And the owner's always like, look, she's my bodybuilder. Don't mess with her. Don't hog the machines. If she needs something, you need to get out of her way. So that's nice. But I've never been to a women's only gym. I grew up with men, like I said, I had 3 older brothers, no sisters. So I'm used to the guys. I'm used to how they talked. how they act, everything. And oddly enough, I have 3 sons and 1 daughter too. So, I'm kind of in a male, and I work in a male dominated field. I'm an engineer. I have an engineering firm. So it's like my whole life, I've kind of.
So you're comfortable around being movement?
Yeah, I'm comfortable around that. So.
Yeah. It's interesting because, like, and this is 1980, but like before that, there were, bodybuilding was getting to that peak and stuff, but there were women that, I would say in the 1950s, they were, working out, and it's this, I think her name is Abigail Stockton or something like that. She's one of, I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name right, but she was like a pioneer of being a bodybuilder and stuff. She's like a strong woman, and so it's interesting.
Yeah, I remember. You know what? I remember my grandmother used to go to a gym. My grandparents went to a gym when I was younger. And I know it was like this big commercial gym. The women would go on one side and the men would go on the other. I don't know what the guys were doing, but you've seen those old reels on Instagram where the women are like on those things that shake their hips or rolling on their butts. That's the gym my grandmother went to. And then we'd go sit in the steam room, and we'd go get a facial or something like that. And, it wasn't really any working out.
No. Okay.
Oh, we got a massage. It was all about machines that were supposed to jiggle your hips, roll the fat off your thighs and stuff like that. It was really funny. I remember that. So.
Yeah. So in other words, it was more serious with the guys than it was with the women.
Probably, because who knows what the guys were doing, because they didn't let you in there. You couldn't see them. So.
Yeah. What era would you pick? Would you pick this era, or would you pick back in the day?
I wish I'd really pursued more of the 80s. I think that was like the golden years of bodybuilding. That's when people, aren't in the late 70s and 80s. That's when Arnold broke in and all those guys. I think that was really a golden era. So I'd loved, and the culture was great. One thing, when I was going to that little gym in the 80s, one thing, those guys really welcomed me. They helped me. The gym culture was vastly different than it is now. I mean, nobody was taking videos. Nobody was taking videos to upload their reels or to post on Instagram. So it was kind of nice not having any of that. There was no influencers. Nobody cared what you looked like. It was a very egalitarian, time. And it was very different. I kind of miss that. Everybody helped everybody. If you needed help on a machine, if you needed a spot, it was very different. No headphones back in the day. I kind of miss that. So.
Interesting. Yeah. Like that. I know, like, a while back, it'd be like sexual harassment issues and stuff, like in the gym. You got to be careful of, I would hear, stories about it, and, it's stories, about sex, like, some of the women, they record guys and stuff, looking at them, or it's slow craziness. So I don't know.
Yeah. And actually, I had somebody record me one time. And this was a long time ago. They were making fun of me and put it up, and it went viral. In fact, it was when I was getting into shape. I can't remember what site, some Facebook site it went up on. oddly enough, my daughter was in college, and she called me up and she's like, I think I just saw a video of you at the gym. I said, yeah, I saw it. She says, you know, it's gone viral. And it was picked up by like some British newspaper actually did a whole like article on it. Older lady, out of shape, just trying to get into shape, and this guy's videoing her and posting it. And I was just like, you know what? I don't care. I'm on my journey, and that guy's just an asshole. So it happened to me, and I had a choice. You know, I had more people reach out to me being supportive that recognized me. And the more people, I mean, and just, you know, on Facebook, because I wasn't doing Instagram back then, reached, you know, anonymously, found out who I was, reached out to me, supported me. And I was like, well, that's great. You know, you're always going to have jerks in the world. So you can either...
Did they ever took the video down?
Yeah. Okay. It got taken down.
Easy. Mom, Kathy, you so pretty. Don't go to the gym, please. No. Give us some time. I'm gonna showcase a picture. Showcase a video slide again. So. Okay. Okay.
Can you hear me? Oh, there we are.
Yeah.
I had a call come in. Sorry about that. So.
Yeah. Not go ahead. I thought you had more to say about the guy that recorded you, but
yeah, I think that guy got pretty well. I think it turned out better for me than it did for that guy. That guy was really, he was harassed for filming somebody. You know, I could have been his mom. Really, he was a young guy.
But what made him want to do that? Like, did you, like, what gave him a reason to do it? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, it don't make sense. He just out the blue just recording you?
You know what? I think it was one of those, I was doing some sort of squats, and the angle he got me at was very unflattering. And again, I was 100 pounds overweight. I was just starting my journey. So it was like, you know, he was making fun of me. So
I got you.
I think it was just at the beginning of, you know, people videoing people without their knowledge and making fun of them for a viral moment. We were just at that beginning. That's not something I would ever do. I would never make fun of. When I see people struggling in the gym, you know, especially if they're a woman, if they're close to my age, even if they're a younger woman, I'm just like, hey, can I give you a pointer? Can I give you something like that? You know, I'm more about let's lift each other up, not tear each other down. You know, I did take it. I was working out at an LA Fitness. I don't work out there anymore. They couldn't identify the guy, which I thought was bullshit. So never saw him again. But, you know, now, I mean, you see some of those viral moments on, you know, on social media. I think that's a lot less now. I guess you see those viral moments, and it's more, you know, the viral moments now are more not of making fun of people, but just these influencers that have a particular stick or whatever, you know, thing they do. So I don't know. I guess he was trying to be provocative.
Yeah,
It
I'm sorry
didn't
you
matter
went
to
through
me.
that. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you went through that. There's I mean, nowadays, people getting pranked now.
Yeah.
If it's not in the gym, it's in the street.
Yep.
It's just a
Yep.
neighbor that I had. He got pranked, and yeah, like one of the guys was asking him for a gun, and he just
Oh.
flipped on him. Yeah, so they either like they'll go to the store and they'll get something like a drink or something, and they open the cap, the bottle cap, and they drink
Yeah.
it, and then they'll ask the guy how much is it, and they start saying that they don't like it and they want their money back or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just to make to give people a hard time. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So.
Yeah. Got all of age George Page. How you doing, George? Was there like besides Corey Everson, like were there like other like people that influenced you, like women bodybuilders?
Oh. So, of course, I was always an Arnold fan, and so Gladys Portuguese, who was married to John Claude Van Damme.
Oh,
she was
okay,
another
yeah.
bodybuilder that I followed. She still looks great. I follow her on Instagram and Facebook. She still looks fabulous. Still has a great body. So does Corey. So that's kind of my age group. I follow all the pros. I've been to the Olympia. I haven't been to the Arnold. The Olympia was a phenomenal thing to go to. I admire all the women that are competing now and all the Olympians. I've known a few. So every year I'm just amazed at the muscularity, the physicality of all the women that are competing. I love to see how everything changes, how the looks every year, from year to year. Angela Teixeira, she was an Olympian bikini bodybuilder several years ago. She's from Texas. She lives in Austin. I guess she was in the, I guess her last show was probably 5 or 6 years ago. She kind of stepped away from the stage. She started having kids. Such a sweet person. Trained with her a couple of times. Her, and she's had a few kids. She recently came back to competing again. She's trying to, get back to the Olympia stage. I can't remember if she's done it. But just watching how resilient women are. I mean, to go from a bikini body to actually birthing kids, that's a lot. I mean, men never go through that. You think about the changes in a woman's body, everything you go through. I mean, I think Angela, gained like 50 pounds with each of her. To put on 50 pounds, and you're not putting on 50 pounds of muscle. You're putting on, you're growing another human. You're putting on a lot of body fat to support that human. You're getting stretch marks. You take a long time to recover, and then to get back into stage shape. That's a lot. No man can do that. So, and I've seen a lot of men, that have gone, that competed in bodybuilding, then they let themselves go and then they come back. But, I think women far surpass the men in terms of being able to go through those changes in life, from totally out of shape to getting back into shape, to getting your body to bounce back. So, I think sometimes us women don't get enough credit for that. Being competitors before and after kids, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, like, it's always been frowned upon for some reason, just you can have like a magazine of a woman. You're looking at a woman bodybuilder and stuff, and people give you that frown face.
Yeah.
I've experienced that a bit. Men and women. That's the thing. Both, for some reason, both sex kind of, I don't know. They have like that upside down smile. I call it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it is. I mean, even women bodybuilding, that's like, I would say, the foundation of it. And people. I mean, there's shows that don't have women's bodybuilding; they have fit model. That's a new that to me. That's like a they people frown upon that.
Yeah, I know. Well, when I got into bikini bodybuilding, we looked like fit models. So
Right.
that, and every year it became more muscular and more muscular. So I was like, when they came out with fit model, I was like, why don't just redefine the class? Why don't you just take it back to, let's call it old school bikini bodybuilding? Because that's what it looked like, in the mid 2000s. But everything's going to change. It's going to be interesting to see how things continue to evolve.